Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. All right, this is the FMS 70mm twin A10. Now, I know you've seen me fly this on the channel before, and I know there's technically no such thing as a REMAIDEN. However, I went to fly this a couple of weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, at the set up in the shop, and my ESCs had burned out. One would work, one motor worked, one ESC would arm, the other one would not arm at all. I took it out, separated it, and it still was burned up. That ESC was no good. And looking around, I want to make sure everything would fit right. So I just ordered a new factory ESC from FMS, and it got in the mail, and guess what? It now has thrust reverse, but that means I had to change out my receiver because I only had a 6th channel. I need that 7th channel for thrust reverse. So now I have did away with the Reflex 2, got rid of it. I now have a Limit RX 7-channel Gen 2 with a satellite. We'll go over that afterwards. And yeah, we're gonna do the REMAIDEN with thrust reverse, and I completely took the plane apart because I had to, and changing out the ESCs in this thing is a lot harder than you think. It's not as simple. You really have to disassemble a whole bunch. And but we're gonna get her. I got her all back together, and this is going to be the new first flight with a new receiver and new ESCs with thrust reverse. The advertisement didn't say it came with thrust reverse, but it sure did. And it works.
Reverse thrust braking.
See?
Jets are cooled. Safe to pick up.
Alright, timer set for 3.5 minutes.
Starting the fun over.
Alright, I've already cycled the gear. And basically I'm gonna, I kind of just redid everything, so I'm gonna have to basically REMAIDEN.
Motor is hot. Don't let the A10 burn you.
I'm gonna have to make sure she's all trim and everything. All right, a little bit of a wind right now, so. All right, right, left, up, down, right, left. All right, timer set for 3.5 minutes. Got a 6000 6S in there, RC Hackers. Okay, here we go.
The gear is up.
Needs a little bit up trim. A little bit of left aileron. A little too much up trim.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
Cool, flying good. I'll take it out, flip it.
Time remaining 2 minutes. The gear is down.
Bring by it dirty. Well. Make sure my gear is down. My gear is down.
Landing flaps.
Whoa.
Flaps up.
She wants to keep flying.
Landing flaps. One minute. Reverse thrust braking. Cruise mode. Flaps
All
up.
right. Got a real cross breeze I'm dealing with right now. All right, real quick. Still got 45 seconds left. Let me check the battery real quick. Uh-oh, what's hanging? Oh, grass. Got grass hanging there. Picked up some grass. All right. All right, let me check that battery. Uh-oh, pause for just a second. 51%, yeah, we can go up again, for sure. All right, well, timer was set for 3.5 minutes. So that means 6,000, 4 minutes for sure.
Motor is hot. Don't let the A10 burn you.
Motor is hot. Don't let the A10 burn you. All right. All right, here we go. Here we go, here we go.
The gear is up. 20 seconds. The gear is down.
Take one pass.
10.
With the gear down.
Timer expired. Landing flaps. Reverse thrust braking. Cruise mode.
All right.
Jets are called.
All right.
To pick up.
We were 46 seconds over on a 3.5 minute timer.
Flaps up.
So that puts us at 4 minutes and 16 seconds. Let's check the battery because I'll forget because we're going to do another flight. Okay. A couple of things about the plane I don't like, but we'll talk about that at the end of the second flight. Okay. And this time, okay, 32%, and that's after 4 minutes and 16 seconds. So really, I would say set your timer for 4 minutes and 10 seconds or 4 minutes, 15 seconds, fly the way you want. If you really wanted, full speed, which is not really good, but you could set it for 4 minutes. But 4 minutes and 15 seconds on a 6,000 is plenty good. All right, well, let's take it. We'll do another flight, and we'll be right back. All right, second flight on the FMS 70mm A10. Got a 5,000 HRB. After the flight, we'll take it back to the bench. We'll talk about it. Down, right, left. All right. Wind has died a little bit, so I might be able to use flaps this time. Get to use them, maybe actually stay on the runway this time when I go to land. That would be nice. Actually, I remember, let's set our timer again. Remember I said before, 3.5 minutes was way too conservative. So we're going to change that to 4 minutes and set to 4 minutes and 15 seconds. All right. 5,000 HRB, here we go.
The gear is up.
New ESCs are working just fine. Now the A10 does not have
Time remaining 4 minutes.
a ballistic roll rate. Inverted's fine. Didn't really have to hold hardly any pressure of down elevator to keep the inverted going. This time we're going to stall it. Here, we're going to come back around, do a clean stall with the wind. All right, you're flying long, lose power. What should you do? All right, just starts kind of, that might be the wind, but she really just kind of went forward. I'm way too far away. Way too far away. Actually, I think I need to move that battery forward. She's acting like she's a little tail heavy. All right.
The gear is down.
About halfway down the field. Now that gear does take a little
Time
while.
remaining 3 minutes.
All right, let's fly by and make sure the gear is down. Yeah, gear's down.
Landing flaps.
All right.
Reverse thrust braking. Cruise mode.
All right. And I will tell you, with FMS's version of reverse thrust, do not, let me say it again, do not immediately start hitting reverse thrust as soon as you land. You've got to make sure your throttle is all the way down to 0, give it half a second, and then ease into it. Because if it's not all the way down to 0 throttle and you hit reverse thrust and full throttle for that reverse thrust, guess what? You just gave it regular full throttle, and then you're airborne again, and you may not be ready for it. So make sure your throttle is completely zeroed out before you engage reverse thrust. And I learned that the hard way with the F-86. All right, flaps are down. Takeoff flaps.
Flaps up. The gear is up. Time remaining 2 minutes.
All right, that's right. We're going to do a into the wind stall. Okay. All right, I'm going to go into the wind now. Flying long, lose power. Completely 0 power. What's she doing? What's she going to do? What's she doing? Just gliding forward. All right, so that gives you time to think if you lose power. Okay. I am way too far. I'm going to come right back at us right now. Show the belly.
The gear is down.
All right, now the plane will rise a little bit when that gear comes down. So be prepared for that. And yeah, I could work a mix in there. No, I'm not going to.
Landing flaps.
Halfway down the field, so I'm putting my flaps in.
1 minute.
All right, I'm going to come by for just a little bit, fly by dirty, then I'll put them flaps up. It's hard on the flaps. All right.
Flaps up.
Flaps back up. All right. Yeah, then I'll move that battery a little further forward.
And landing flaps.
She's acting like she's a little
30 seconds.
tail heavy. But back in some power, a little bit of power there. A little bit of flare. There, don't even need reverse thrust.
Flaps up.
All right, of course I'm into the wind, so into the wind, land in the wind, which gives you the most control, but it really, I mean, it slows you down naturally. That's just Mother Nature's way of slowing your plane down. All right, real quick, honey, I'm going to just drive the plane around a little bit. If you just zoom in a little bit. Now, there's a lot of paint chips and stuff on out of that black, but she's got all kinds of hanger rash, but when she's flying, you sure can't tell. Now, for a $650 plane, you would think that they would have at least, on the white foam, that it wouldn't just be bare foam. You know what? Yeah, it's just bare foam. So they took a shortcut. I think that's kind of cheesy, but that's just me. All right, let's take it back to the bench and we'll talk about it.
Safe to pick up.
All right, right off the bat, let's go ahead and get the CG check, because I think I'm flying a little bit tail heavy. Leave the gear down. I got the marks on the top side of the wing, so I'm going to check them there, but basically it's a full finger length in. And the numbers will be in the description of the video. Well, no, actually, I guess she's fine. So let me try to find those exact same marks, the exact same placement on the underside there. And so right about there at the end of where that missile pylon would go. Yeah, no, I guess she's fine. Maybe I just need to adjust a little bit of trim. If you look really close, she's really dirty. really dusty. Let's talk about rates. Now, she doesn't have safe and all that, just has a Lemon RX Gen 2. All right, the rates that I just flew in, 100% throws, 30% expo, all the way around. Hey, Fritz, there's your elevator, ailerons, rudder, okay. Flap systems, there is no mix, okay.
Takeoff flaps.
Takeoff flaps is 50%. No mix.
Landing flaps.
Landing flaps, 0%, no mix. Flaps up, 100%. So 150, 0. No mix needed. I didn't notice any ballooning or diving when I engaged the flaps. And so that's good. The only thing I did notice that when you deploy the gear, she wants to rise just a little bit. And yeah, you could work a little mix in, but nah, I'd rather just feel it. All right, let's talk about the entire inside. So I've got the zip tie mod on there. Inside the plane, right there is the antenna, a satellite for the Lemon RX Gen 2. Right back here in the middle is the Lemon RX Gen 2. Receivers going, or antenna, diversity antennas go in at 90 degrees. The satellite antenna is going at 90 degrees, so signal is not an issue. See the placement on the 6000 HRB. That first strap is in the factory setting position. You put your battery right there. I probably could even bring the battery a little bit further forward, because to me she felt like she was flying nose heavy or tail heavy, but yet still CG check says she actually seemed tail heavy. But I think you could maybe still bring the plane, the battery forward just to maybe 1/4 of an inch. This is not a Death Dorito. Okay, this is not a Delta Wing. So tail heavy is not necessarily the way you, or a slightly tail heavy is not the way you want. This is more like a traditional warbird type plane with this type of wing. So a little on the nose heavier side will actually give you a little bit more of a positive balance and a positive flight experience. Let's check this battery while I'm rambling on. And see what kind of life is in the tank after having 12 seconds left on a 4-minute and 15-second timer. 43% with twin 70 motors, and we flew for over 4 minutes. So that's pretty darn good for a jet. That is pretty darn good for a jet. All right, folks, well, there you go. That is the FMS A10 70mm version 2 in the Arctic camo. Great flying plane. It comes with a reflex version 2, and a lot of them don't come with thrust reverse. If you order new ESCs, you may get thrust reverse with it. I don't know. I wasn't expecting it. It didn't say so in the description. Came in the mail, and sure enough, it had that little yellow wire, and I said, okay, well, I'll get a 7-channel receiver, and that 7th channel is what I'm using for thrust reverse. But if you bring her in, you know, nice big fly, big wing like this, don't necessarily have to need, especially if you land into the wind. Well, there you go, folks. Thank you so much for watching. God bless y'all. God is good. And don't forget, faith, family, and friends, and then big old beautiful Arctic camo A10s. Bye-bye.